Close Encounters of the Third Kind wasn't just a movie about aliens. It was Obsession in Celluloid, a film that turned mashed potatoes into mountains and made 5 musical notes more famous than most symphonies. But behind the glowing motherships and government cover-ups, nothing was planned. The script changed daily for 2 years. The aliens were operated by little people and amputees, and Spielberg nearly died trying to film inside a cloud. These are 15 weird facts about Close Encounters of the Third Kind, buried in the static where even the aliens couldn't predict the madness that would unfold. 1. It started as a police procedural about UFOs. Steven Spielberg didn't set out to make a spiritual journey about alien contact. His original concept was Jaws in the Sky, a gritty police drama where cops investigated UFO sightings like crime scenes. The first drafts followed detectives chasing mysterious lights, interviewing witnesses, collecting evidence. No mystical revelations, no chosen ones, just procedural investigation into unexplained phenomena. But as Spielberg researched real UFO cases, talking to alleged witnesses and government officials, something shifted. The clinical approach gave way to wonder. The police drama transformed into a meditation on faith and contact. What started as skeptical investigation became spiritual pilgrimage. Sometimes the best journeys are the ones that take you somewhere completely unexpected, even when you're the one holding the map. The Devil's Tower was cast like an actor. Most location scouts look for pretty backgrounds. Spielberg needed a geological character that could carry the film's climax. He considered dozens of landmarks: Monument Valley, the Grand Canyon, various mountains and mesas. But when he saw Devil's Tower in Wyoming, he knew instantly. The volcanic neck looked alien enough to be believable as an extraterrestrial landing site, yet familiar enough to feel authentically American. More importantly, it had mystical qualities that matched the film's spiritual themes. Native American legends called it sacred, a bridge between earth and sky. Spielberg spent weeks camping nearby, studying how light moved across its surface at different times of day. He cast a mountain the way other directors cast leading men, for presence, mystery, and the ability to hold the screen. 3. Richard Dreyfuss nearly walked away. The script kept changing so drastically that Dreyfuss couldn't figure out what movie he was making. Week by week, his character evolved from skeptical investigator to obsessed believer to chosen messenger. Dreyfuss, fresh off his Oscar win for The Goodbye Girl, wanted clarity and found chaos instead. Spielberg rewrote scenes the night before shooting, sometimes handing actors completely new dialogue on set. The famous mashed potato sculpture scene? Written 3 days before filming. Dreyfuss seriously considered quitting multiple times, telling friends the project felt cursed and directionless. But something kept him hooked, maybe the same inexplicable pull that drove his character Roy Neary. Sometimes the best performances come from actors who feel as lost and obsessed as their characters. 4. The mothership was built. Upside down. The iconic alien vessel, 2.5 football fields wide, bristling with thousands of lights, was constructed as an inverted cityscape. Model makers built a detailed miniature metropolis, then flipped it over and added lights underneath. The hull was actually the streets and buildings of an imaginary city, photographed from below. This technique gave the ship its organic, lived-in feeling. Each light represented a window, a doorway, a sign of alien civilization. The detail was obsessive. Tiny alien vehicles, architectural styles, even miniature weathering effects. When lit from within, the upside-down city became something that looked both technological and mystical. The ultimate Spielberg magic trick, making a model city fly by simply changing your perspective on reality. 5. John Williams composed the alien language. The 5-note musical phrase that serves as humanity's first conversation with aliens wasn't just a catchy melody, it was a carefully constructed linguistic system. Williams and Spielberg spent months developing these notes as actual communication, complete with grammatical rules and emotional inflections. Each note had meaning. Pitch indicated concepts, rhythm conveyed urgency, repetition showed emphasis. The sequence could be modified to ask questions, give commands, or express emotions. 6. The child actors were never told about aliens. Cary Guffey, the 3-year-old who played Barry Gaylor, had no idea he was in a science fiction movie. Spielberg deliberately kept the young actors ignorant about the plot, telling them they were making a film about magical lights and special friends. During the famous abduction scene, Guffey was simply told to look up and react with wonder to something amazing above him. His genuine expressions of awe and curiosity were completely authentic. He really was seeing something magical for the first time. The adult actors played to green screens and tennis balls, but the children played to pure imagination. Their performances feel otherworldly because, to them, everything actually was otherworldly. Sometimes the most convincing reactions come from people who have no idea they're acting. 7. The government consultants were real UFO investigators. Spielberg didn't just research UFO cases, he hired actual government consultants who had investigated them. Dr. J. Allen Hynek, the film's technical advisor, was a real astronomer who had spent decades studying unexplained aerial phenomena for the Air Force. His classification system, Close Encounters of the First, Second, and Third Kind, became the film's title and structure. Hynek brought classified files, witness testimonies, and official protocols to the production. Many of the military characters' reactions were based on real government responses to UFO incidents. The film's realistic tone came from genuine expertise. Even the cover-up elements reflected actual military procedures for handling unexplained events. Truth became stranger than fiction when fiction hired truth as a consultant. 8. The aliens were operated by amputees and little people. Creating believable extraterrestrials in 1977 required unconventional casting. The alien puppets were operated from inside by performers specifically chosen for their unique physical characteristics. Several amputees controlled the aliens' distinctive long fingers and graceful hand movements. Little people operated the larger alien bodies, their smaller frames allowing for more realistic proportions inside the costumes. The lead alien, with its elongated fingers and graceful gestures, was performed by a woman whose arms had been shortened due to a birth condition. Her natural movements created the alien's otherworldly grace. These performers spent weeks rehearsing alien body language, developing movements that felt both foreign and oddly beautiful. The most human moment in the film, first contact between species, was created by people whose own physical differences made them perfect ambassadors for the unknown. 9. Spielberg nearly died, filming the crop circle scene. The famous sequence where Roy first encounters the UFO while investigating power outages was shot in a real cornfield during a massive thunderstorm. Spielberg insisted on filming during actual severe weather to capture authentic lightning and wind effects. As the storm intensified, the crew urged evacuation, but Spielberg kept rolling. Lightning struck repeatedly near the set, and winds reached dangerous speeds. At one point, a lightning bolt hit so close that the electromagnetic pulse damaged several cameras. Spielberg, operating a handheld camera himself, was knocked down by the electrical surge but kept filming. The footage captured that night, with real lightning illuminating the practical effects, became some of the film's most memorable moments. Sometimes the most spectacular special effects are the ones that nearly kill you. 10. The mashed potato scene wasn't scripted. The iconic moment where Roy sculpts Devil's Tower from his dinner was pure improvisation. Drifus was eating between takes when Spielberg noticed him unconsciously shaping his food. Instead of stopping, Spielberg grabbed a camera and started filming. The scene grew organically. Roy's family's horrified reactions, the growing obsession, the messy destruction of family dinner. What began as an actor playing with his food became a perfect metaphor for how alien contact disrupts normal life. The scene worked because it felt real, because it was real. Drifus genuinely didn't know what he was building until the sculpture began to resemble the mountain from his visions. Art imitating life, imitating art, all captured in one spontaneous moment that became the film's emotional centerpiece. 11. The scientist who played himself got death threats. François Truffaut, the legendary French New Wave director, played the lead scientist Claude Lacombe. But his casting created unexpected controversy. UFO believers accused him of being part of a government cover-up claiming Hollywood was deliberately obscuring the truth about alien contact. Truffaut received threatening letters from conspiracy theorists who believed his participation proved the film was disinformation. A filmmaker known for intimate human dramas was being accused of interplanetary deception. Truffaut found the whole situation surreal, noting that people believed in aliens but couldn't believe he was just acting. His calm, scientific performance became even more convincing because he was genuinely baffled by the real-world reaction to his fictional role. 12. The inside of the mothership was a hangar. The climactic interior of the alien vessel was filmed inside an actual aircraft hangar in Mobile, Alabama. The massive space, longer than 2 football fields, was transformed into an otherworldly cathedral of lights and mystery. Hundreds of crew members worked for weeks, installing thousands of individual bulbs, each controlled separately to create the ship's pulsing, breathing effect. The scale was so enormous that actors looked genuinely dwarfed and overwhelmed, which was exactly what Spielberg wanted. The hangar's industrial architecture added unexpected authenticity. This felt like a real space that could actually house interstellar technology. When filled with artificial fog and colored lights, the utilitarian building became something transcendent. Sometimes the most alien environments are hiding in the most ordinary places. 13. The film's release was timed to UFO Disclosure Columbia. Pictures deliberately scheduled the film's release to coincide with growing government transparency about UFO investigations. The late 1970s saw unprecedented official acknowledgement of unexplained aerial phenomena, with military officials publicly discussing encounters for the first time. The studio marketed the film as entertainment, but privately hoped it would capitalize on public fascination with potential disclosure. What they didn't expect was the reverse effect. The film's popularity actually increased pressure on the government to release more UFO files. Art influenced reality as much as reality had influenced art. The movie became part of the conversation it was trying to reflect, creating a cultural feedback loop where fiction and became increasingly difficult to separate. 14. 3 different endings were shot. Spielberg filmed multiple conclusions because he couldn't decide how much to reveal about the aliens' intentions. The theatrical version shows Roy entering the mothership, but alternate endings explored his return, alien warnings about Earth's future, and detailed alien society aboard the ship. The famous Special Edition, released 3 years later, included scenes inside the mothership that Spielberg had originally deemed too much. Each version told a different story about contact: hopeful, cautionary, or transcendent. Preview audiences preferred the ambiguous ending that left Roy's fate uncertain. 15. It predicted our modern UFO obsession. Close Encounters anticipated our current cultural moment with uncanny accuracy. The film's portrayal of government disclosure, scientific investigation, and public fascination perfectly predicted how UFO discussions would evolve over the next 4 decades. Today's Pentagon UFO videos, congressional hearings, and serious scientific study of aerial phenomena all echo the film's approach, treating contact as inevitable rather than impossible. The movie normalized the idea that aliens might be here already, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. Close Encounters of the Third Kind wasn't just about aliens visiting Earth. It was about Earth being ready for visitors. Spielberg created a film where contact felt not like invasion, but like coming home, where the unknown became a destination worth reaching. Drop a comment below. What legendary film should we dive into next? Because in a galaxy full of movies, some stories refuse to stay earthbound.